Greetings everyone, my name is FlareBlitzed and welcome back to Fatal 12. In the last time around, Alan made a appearance within Lionhouse, explaining his past, but not only that, noticing Naomi outside collapsing due to the presence of Alan. And of course, the changed views that he's had made him care more for Rinka's friend rather than just knocking her out. Saturday, 2 days later. Yesterday passed without an issue. The four of us studied together after school, and then I did my usual diary reading at night. I told Miharu about Alan too. Looks like I'll be electing him, while she'll be electing Frederico. On a superficial level, things have gone far smoother than they have in weeks past. There weren't any huge instances like with you, nor was there any need to make deals with people like Odetti. Things aren't so simple deep down, though. The significance of the upcoming eliminations is all the greater now that we've got to know and see their development. There's no point in being depressed until the time comes though. Instead, I try to brighten my mood before heading to school. On a Saturday. School. On a Saturday. Upon my arrival, Mal greets me with an eerie grin. Morning. Guess what today is?
7月7日だから、そっか、七夕だね。
Must be a local tradition. July 7th, so... Oh, Tanabata?
正解。食堂の方に笹があるから短冊飾りに行こう。
Bingo! They've put up some bamboo over in the cafeteria, so let's go hang our wishes.
ちょっと恥ずかしいけど、いいよ。マオが学校のそういうのに興味持つって珍しいね。
It's a bit embarrassing, but okay. I'm surprised you care though. Normally you're not interested in the stuff going on at school.
別に気分だよ気分。ミハルもだからね。
Sometimes I feel like it, you know. You coming to Miharu?
リンカが書くなら僕も書くよ。
I'll write one if Rinka does.
決定。じゃ、ナオリンにも連絡して。
Alright, now to rope Naomi in as well. There must have been a Tanabata feature on TV or something. That aside, it's relieving to see Mal act like this. Well, it'd probably be a relief if she was in a post-all-nighter mood as well. Lovely. The scene. Once we've written and hanged up our wishes, we start to make our way to class. The facilities set bamboo up in the cafeteria that's shared between our and the college's campus, just like Mano. What's wrong with me today? A surprising number of people are participating, which leads to me taking a peek at some wishes. Most are relationship related.
いやー、みんな何を書いたのかな。
So what'd you all write?
秘密にするって約束だったでしょ。
What happened to keeping it a secret? We make it a point to keep what we've written to ourselves. For a simple reason too. We're shy.
羊さん、恋ではないにしても、君は僕の短冊を見た。もしそれを誰かに話したら、どうなるか分かっているね。
Let me make one thing clear, Naomi. You might not have meant to see what I wrote, but you did nonetheless. I don't need to explain what will happen if you tell anyone, do I?
ごめんなさい。私、言いません。
It's something about Rinka, isn't it? I'm so sorry, my lips are sealed.
ナオリン、ミハルンのお願い事を見ちゃったんだ。ほれほれ、マオ様だけに教えてみなさい。
Oh ho, caught a glimpse, did ya? It's a loyal servant's duty to tell their queen everything, you know.
マオ先輩でも無理です。
Sorry, but I can't, no matter what. Miharu gives Naomi an exaggerated glare before transitioning into a smile. As me, well, I guess there's no point in reminding myself of something I wrote.
もういくつか寝ると夏休みだね。
Just a few more nights of sleeping it'll finally be summer vacation.
ああ、そうだね。2桁をいくつかというには多い気もするけれど。
I wouldn't say a few when it's over a week away, but sure.
リータンは覚えてる？花火大会。ちょうど来月の今頃じゃなかった？
You haven't forgotten our promise to go see fireworks, have you, Rennie? Should be around this time next week. I haven't.
行こうね。4人でさ。
Let's make sure the four of us go together. Four of us go together. Four of us go together. There's a hint of gravity to her words. It's not often she sounds like that, so it leaves the rest of us speechless. Naomi ends up breaking the silence.
行きましょう。私、
Yeah,
花火。
I love fireworks, so I'm really excited. Mahalo and I nodded in agreement.
じゃ、ナオリンは朝一で場所取りだね。
Alright, Naomi's in charge of getting up early and grabbing us a spot then.
頑張ります。
I'll do what I can.
みんなで一緒にね、 行こう。きっと。
We'll all go there, together, for sure.
リンカがそう言うのなら僕も。
Mahalo, just okay. If Rinka says so, then it's the truth. My reluctance to say it in the first place is why I forced myself to make that claim. It's a much more personal wish than what I wrote earlier, but also a more earnest one. And it's Saturday night. Once the day is over, I get ready for bed. As for the diary, I'm almost done with it in terms of pages. Tomorrow's session shall be my last. I couldn't find a second volume after looking around, so tomorrow marks my last look into the daily lives of Linda and Diana. When I think about that, I recall what we talked about earlier on in the afternoon.
花火。
Fireworks, huh? I talked to Mahalo about it before, back when we were alone at the theme park, back when I was the only one who didn't know anything about divine selection. Oh no, a flood of memories come back to me all at once. I must be tired. I feel my eyes beginning to water up as my emotions involuntarily pour out.
行きたい。行きたいよ。
I want to go. I want to go with everyone. My thoughts turn to screams, and then I remember that it's the middle of the night, so I end up smothering my face with a pillow. It helps to muffle my screams. It's all so sudden. The fear of losing what I have at the moment has just hit me out of nowhere. I don't want anything up until now to be undone. I fall asleep at some point, unable to sort out my emotions. It's okay. It's alright. Frederico returns to Japan from India on Sunday morning.
手に入れたのは死因までか。
Damn it. Well, can't believe I only managed to find out his cause of death. Once in India, he visited both Alan's company and his family. According to his company, Alan was out on a private business that wasn't to be divulged to anyone. As a result, he kept all contact with the company to a minimum. In exchange, the vice president was in charge of all important decisions for the time being. This led to Federico's discovery of an anti-Alan faction within said company, not to mention their connection to a certain competing company. Putting two and two together with what Mahalo had told him, he was able to deduce the background behind Alan's death and materialize the card. The big issue was with learning his regret, since no one there had any valuable information related to it. His visits to Alan's home proved to be entirely meaningless too.
まさかあんな奴がいると。
Never expected to come across someone like her. You mean Rita? A girl that realized what Frederico was up to. Her name was Amrita. Their surnames might be different, but she was apparently Alan's sister. She showed no reservation in telling Federico to leave the moment she saw him. Federico knew that Alan had plenty of enemies. He never would have been poisoned if that weren't the case. What's more, those enemies of his would visit his home in order to uncover any potential weakness. Federico used this knowledge in an attempt to threaten her. It was of no avail, however. She did nothing but glare at him in response. Federico realized right then and there that she was a stranger to the concept of fear. She was undoubtedly aware of her brother's bad side. But there is not necessarily that. His merciless attitude towards others, his valuing of skill and competence above all else, and how many had lost their jobs due to both of those traits. Even then, she was wise enough to prevent his potential enemies from learning anything about him. Her situation was full of contradictions, and yet she stood resolute before Federico and his threats. Federico himself likely would have resorted to a number of horrible means to force information out of her back in the mafia days. But, Federico, you're all alone. But this time, he gave in. The lack of both any backing from the organization and confidence that she knew anything about his regret caused him to do so. More importantly, the look in her eyes made it clear that she wouldn't budge through any normal means.
誰かに似てる気がしたんだよな。けど、オデットとも違うしよ。
Who did that girl remind me of? Not Odette, that's for sure. There was something familiar about the look. Frederico's inability to remember who it reminded him of sort of bothered him.
まあ、いいか。顔こそ美人だが、まだまだチンチクリンだったしよ。しかしあの性格じゃ将来が心配だぜ。
Same for yours, Frederico. Well, whatever. She may have been a looker, but she's just okay. Gotta admit that I don't see her faring too well in the future with personality like that. Apart from that, the fact remained that Federico was unable to obtain Alan's regret. He gave himself a set time to return to Japan for two reasons. One was to prevent himself from losing his resolve, and the other was to ensure he had enough time for one last-ditch effort. The only thing left for him at this point is to find and question Alan directly.
さて、あの野郎はどこに。
Finding Alan is the main issue. The train rocks as he tries to discern Alan's location. You're gonna try and think that. He won't say anything. Guess I fell asleep at some point. Waking up only to remember my outburst last night feels anything but good. On the bright side, it proves just how much of a toll this whole thing has taken on me. I open my window, take a deep breath of fresh air to collect myself. Nighttime.
結局俺らしいっつうかよ。
Oh man, guess it makes sense for me to go out like this. Frederico chalks up his current situation as one benefiting a loser like himself. He is unable to get in touch with Alan now that Scale's gone. He visited a number of places in the hopes of finding him, but to no avail. He wasn't even at the warehouse where he met with Odette and that other girl. In the end, he finds himself at a national park in Shinjuku, the final destination. He doesn't know why this park has such a fancy name, but he doesn't care. What he does care about is the fact that Alan's not here either.
俺たちは運命で繋がってないってわけだ。それはそれで虫唾が走るぜ。
Just means our fates aren't linked. That I even need to say such a thing makes me sick. His pace may seem leisurely, but he spent the day running around on foot. Time simply won't allow him to slow down. He's running so hard that he's gotten covered in sweat despite his level of fitness. He has done all he can to triumph over Alan. It's a level of effort that he'd long forgotten. That's why he feels an odd sense of satisfaction despite having nothing to show for it.
酒でも飲んで寝ちまうかな。
Oh gosh, might as well grab some booze and drink until I pass out. His decision made, he walks off into the night of his final day. 1 hour later, Federico returns to an area close by. In doing so, he notices a certain cafe.
まずコーヒー。
Guess I wouldn't mind some coffee first. He hasn't had any espresso during this whole trip. It won't quite match the taste of what he's used to back home, but he finds himself wanting some after so long. The lights are still on, leading him to believe the shop's still open. Thus, he struts over to its entrance. Oh gosh, we have not... This is the first time, Rinka and Frederico. After day turns to night, I sat down on my usual table with the diary. I've got some coffee with me as usual, but I've been extra careful not to spoil it on the book. I didn't spend the whole day studying thanks to having to take care of some chores, but hey, it's nice to finally sit down and relax. I don't get to do that often these days. At first I was reading through this diary to find information related to divine selection, but somehow along the way I found myself simply enjoying it. I can see why Naomi loves to read so much. Okay. After taking a sip of coffee, I open up the page I bookmarked. Soon after, I hear someone shouting outside the store.
なんだ、せっかく雰囲気のあるカフェかと思えば休みかよ。
Gosh, the hell.
電気ついてるくせによ。
Why is it closed when the light's still on? Way to ruin my impression of the place. The door is closed, but I can hear them loud and clear. What's more, the voice sounds familiar. I close the diary and duck behind the counter to better scout what's going on. Standing outside is none other than Federico Coramanti. Why is he here? Didn't he settle things after his discussion with Miharu? I prepare myself for worse, but something feels off. He isn't addressing me directly, now that I think about it. In fact, it may be safe to assume that he's here by coincidence. Judging by what he said, he's just upset that the store is closed. There's no need to overthink things in this situation. What the? You? Seems like he's noticed me. I'll bet he's never expected me to be running a cafe, much less the fact that I'm simply trying to read a book. He stands there and stares at me, mouth agape. I decide to not say anything to shatter his silence. Shortly after, his grins from ear to ear before erupting in laughter. The way he's laughing is a familiar sound. Federico can't hardly surprise at this turn of events. Inside the cafe he's about to visit stands none other than Shishimai Rinka. It's the first time they have ever had a one-to-one in the real world. Fate must be up to something for this to happen in his last day. Her presence within the closed cafe could mean she works there, but Frederico is more inclined to believe that she lives inside. That doesn't matter to him though. Instead, he finds himself excited about a certain revelation. That's who she reminded me of. Rinka is staring Frederico down, clearly wary of him. The look in her eyes brings someone else to mind. Marita, Alan's sister. They both share that same resolute gaze. He had always wondered why Alan seemed so concerned with Rinka, but he figured it had nothing to do with his regret. But he was wrong. This chance discovery seals the deal. For him, Alan's regret is related to her. His excitement turns into a sense of joy that he has never experienced before. He has won. At the last minute, he finally possesses all of Alan's cards. He has succeeded in outdoing someone he wants to beat. Cheers to you, kid. Federico then takes his leave without bothering to enter Lionhouse. Rika stands there alone and puzzled over what just happened. I was thinking as well. That was certainly odd. What was that all about? Federico randomly decided to wander off while I was giving him a silent stare. I'm not even sure what he wanted. He looked incredibly happy for some reason though. That sure was frightening, in more ways than one. I'm not sure why, but there was something unsettling about the way his expression switched from anger to surprise, and then to joy. It didn't seem like he was rejoicing over obtaining my information at the very least. Maybe I'll take a break from reading today. Perhaps it's for the best since he might try to come back. Sucks when I'm always done with it, but oh well. After returning to my bedroom, I focus on preparing myself for tonight's election. It's going to be a bit of a standoff tonight. Good evening, my lovely little slaves to fate. That's the 10th time that I've had to listen to her voice. Past that dreads the court of fate as she always does. I'm well aware of the cruelty being mastered by her divine tone. As well as reality, I have the same cruelty within me. Four remain, but who will survive until the end? I'm guessing you'd prefer a girl if you're going to use us as your host. Goodness no, I view all genders equally. Says the goddess that went on about how I must reek of booze. What? Did I? I'm afraid I didn't recall such an exchange. You little... At it again, I see. I can't say I mind it tonight, though. Holy man. Seeing you smile might just be the creepiest thing I've ever experienced. Alan and Federico have no issue with engaging past her in senseless conversation. That's been the case since the beginning, in fact, especially with Federico. That's right. Tonight is the last night I'll get to see this. I don't feel sad about it, just empty. I can't say for sure how Miharu feels, but at the very least she's chosen to remain silent like me. We're finally nearing the end of... With
私をどうか楽しませてくださいませ。
We're finally nearing the end of Divine Selection. I do look forward to seeing what fate has in store for you all.
それでは今宵も選定を始めましょ
Allow me to begin tonight's
う。
selection.
運命の大時計回りなさい。
Revolve, O clock of fate. Her sly grin signals the beginning of the election procedure. My place in numero 1 is that I detest. I'm always the one who's forced to make the first declaration as a result.
一番様
Well, numero 1,
いかが。
私は12番を指名する。
I elect numero 12. I make sure to look Alan in the eyes as I say so. I'm using his life as a stepping stone for my own. It's a truth that no rationalization can exchange, thus I have to accept it. He smiles upon hearing my declaration and nods.
お次は2番様
Next is numero
いかが
2.
な。
僕は3番を指名する。
I elect numero 3. Things are proceeding as expected. Federico nods in response, his expression an odd mixture of satisfaction and displeasure. I understand now just how incredible it is for him to remain that composed.
さてお次は3番様でございます。
And yourself, numero 3?
俺か？俺は、
Hmm.
ほら、てめえを指名するぜ。
Hmm? Who? Me? Sure, I've got an election, and it's got your name all over it, Alan.
もう
Yeah.
番号でお呼びなさってくださいな。
Good grief, can you please refer to him by his numerial?
いいじゃねえか。どうせここにいる全員が全員の名前を知ってんだ。
Hmm.
しかしま、ルールに従うよ。
Hey now. Everyone knows
12
each other's names at this point,
あんたを指名する。
so it should be fine. But okay, I'll obey your rules. Numerial 12, I'm electing you.
かしこまりましたわ。
Very well. Parser nods and then turns to face Alan. He raises a voice before she can prompt him, though.
僕はフェデリーコ・カルミナーティを指名しよう。
Allow me to elect Frederico Caramanti.
あなた様まで私がお尋ねしてからでございます。
Heavens, must you be like this
12
too?
番様いかがなさいますか。
Please wait until I ask you before making your declaration.
安い挑発に乗っただけだ。
Hmm.
僕は3番、君を指名しよう。
That was my way of accepting his provocation. I elect numerial 3.
承知いたしましたわ。もう、
Hmm.
皆様ちゃんと決まりは守ってくださいませ。
This is going to render Federico useless. Very well, do allow me to stress the importance of adhering to the rules, however. Federico and I have elected Alan. Meanwhile, Miharu and Alan have elected Federico, all four of us, to face duplicate elections. This isn't a situation I'd anticipated. I get that Federico wants to elect Alan, even if it means causing that situation. But I honestly didn't think he had all of his cards. I'm not quite sure why Alan wants to elect Federico, when Miharu is already doing so either. This entire situation has me slightly bewildered. I can't see this being a tactic to make us back off. It should be clear at this point that I won't hesitate to earn election priority.
これは
What are you thinking?
おやおや
Hmm.
大混戦でございますわね。
Well,
それでは
well.
指名の重複について順番に処理を行いましょう。
Quite the clash of wills we have tonight. Allow me to handle this all in order.
ああ、頼むぜ。おい、ミハル。分かってるな。俺はこの野郎にとどめを刺されるのはお断りだ。
Sure, go ahead. Yo, Miharu, I ain't too fond of letting Alan be the one to put the nail in my
て
coffin.
めえと一晩相手できなかったのは残念だが、せめて幕引きだけは相手してくれよ。
Still wish I could have spent a... Okay, but hey, you'll at least be the one to put an end to this for me, won't you?
だから私が進行いたしますから勝手にお話ししないでくださいませ。
How many times must I tell you not to speak? I have a role to carry out. Frederico ignores Parser's distress and tells Miharu that he's leaving it to her. What's more, Alan turns to speak to me.
同感だ。彼は品がなくてね。彼に指名されて脱落させられたとなれば、アムリタの兄として恥ずかしい。
I share the same sentiment as him. I would be ashamed to call myself Amrita's brother if he were the one to eliminate me. I clench my fists as I listen to his words. I finally understand his thought process. It's not a logical decision at all, but it's one I can understand.
くす男ってほんとバカ、とでも言ってほしいのかい？
Men are truly hopeless. Is that what you were hoping I'd say?
そういう趣味はねえが。悪くない理解だ。
I ain't really into that sort of thing, but sure, that works.
アランさんまでそんな風に思うなんて意外です。
I didn't expect you to think about things this way.
そうか。だがただの兄に戻った僕はこんなものだ。
It's in my nature as a brother, which is all I will be at the moment.
はいちゃんと私の進行に従ってくださいませ
We're all too friendly, Parser. Shut up. That's enough. I need you all to follow proper protocol. Parser actually raises her voice as us, how unusual. There's no anger in her tone, though. If anything, I think she's excited. It's an abnormal situation, one where myriad emotions are all crossing paths.
それではまずは1番様と3番様による12番様の指名についてお伺いいたします
Numero 1 and Numero 3's election of Numero 12 should be our first priority.
ご存知の通りご自分のカードを1枚開けることで指名の優先権を取得することができますわ
As you know,
1番様はどういたしますか
revealing a personal card will allow you to obtain election priority. What will you do, Numero 1?
私は自分の使命を公開する。
I will reveal my name card.
俺の未練を公開してやる。
I will reveal my regret. I close my eyes as Parser chides Frederico for ignoring protocol again. My actions are essentially throwing mud in his face after he helped me. But that's okay. What I'm about to do is through my own will.
私は自分の死因も公開するよ。
I will reveal my cause of death then.
これじゃ肩なしだ。俺はもう公開するもんがねえからな。譲るぜ。あいつを落とす権利をよ。
I'm fresh out of cards to reveal, so I guess I'll let you have the right to eliminate him.
野郎のカードを3枚集めた時点で俺の勝ちだった。最後の答えをくれたあんたには感謝くらいしてやるか。
I won the moment I gathered all three of his cartel. I should thank you for giving me the final push I needed.
そっか。
So that's why. I finally understand his actions from last night. He must have learned about Amrita somehow. I never met her myself, but the similarities must be authentic if he is able to make the connection between me and her. Still, it doesn't feel right for him to thank me. I never did anything for him. He's the one who obtained the answer he was looking for on his own.
承知いたしましたそれでは次は2番様と12番様による
Very
3
well.
番様の指名でございます
Up next is Numero 2 and Numero 12 selection of Numero 3.
ついぞ君と顔を合わせることはなかったな。
We never did have the pleasure of meeting face to face.
そうだね。でも、
うん
君はリンカを助けてくれたのだろ？
Indeed.
ならば、お礼は言わなければいけないね。
You helped Rinka out though, didn't you? I owe you my thanks for that.
よしてくれ。そんな柄ではないことを聞いているのだろう。
Spare me your gratitude. I'm sure you've been told that I'm not fond of such niceties.
女神、指名の優先権は僕がもらおう。
I have every
君はどうす
intention
る
of
んだい？
I have every intention of earning election priority. What will you do?
僕はまだカードを3枚残しているが、今優先権を取って彼を指名したら呪われそうだ。僕を呪うのは許容できるが、アムリタを呪われてはたまらない。
I have 3 cards remaining, but the last thing I want is for him to haunt Amrita if I eliminate him.
ここで引こう。勝負は持ち越しと言っておこうか。どうだい、フェデリコ・カルミナーティ。
You may have a right. As for us, how does continuing our bout in a later time sound, Frederico?
納得いかないぜ。ここはお互いに勝ちってことでどうだい？
That sure ain't gonna sit well with me. How about we just call it a win on both sides?
なんでだ？
Oh, come on.
もう皆様勝手にお話ししないようにと何度申し上げればわかりますの
No talking amongst each other. How many times must I repeat myself? Parser halts the conversation for us. Next, she begins the process of bringing 2 lives to their end. Oh my.
それではこれより1番様による12番様の指名と2番様による3番様の指名を順番に執り行いますわ。
With that decided, numerial 1 and numerial 12, numerial 2 and numerial 3, allow me to proceed on with the election procedure. The Court of Fate rumbles following her explanation. I'm up first. My platform makes its way to the upper stratum, as does Alan's. Alan and I face one another upon completing our ascension. He remains silent, about with a peaceful expression.
今さら君と語り合うこともあるまい。あの夜僕はすべて君に話した。
I already told you everything there is to say during that night.
はい。
Yeah. His current silence compared to that night he's referring to says it all. That silence is soon disturbed by Parser.
おやおや、もうお話はよろしいのですか？一番様はもっと惜しまれるかと思っていましたのに。
Oh my. Done chatting already? I must admit, I expected you to express some anguish over this numerial one.
意外でしょ？みんな結構意外な一面を持ってるんだよ。
Everyone has a surprising side to them, right?
ああ、
Indeed.
あらあら。けれども、ひどみなく進むことは私にとっては良いことでもありますわ。
Oh ho. Granted, I shan't complain about everything proceeding smoothly.
それでは指名を始めていただきましょう。
Do begin your election then. I open up my card book once she shuts her mouth. My cards float out in response, despite the majority of them being useless now.
氏名アラン・スコーピオン。死因毒死。
His name is Alan Scorpion. He was killed with poison.
宝石商として君の所得では一生買えないようなダイヤでも送ればよかったと後悔している。
If there's one thing I regret, it's not using my position to present you with a diamond that you would no doubt would never be able to afford.
ここで嫌味？
You being sarcastic now?
代わりに魔法の言葉を教えよう。僕は僕の亡き後、アムリタが社長を務めていると信じている。
To make up for it, allow me to teach you a magic phrase, one based on my belief that Amrita will become the next CEO.
いつか宝石が必要になる時が君にも来るだろう。その時に格安で買える魔法の言葉さ。
A time will come when you require such jewelry. This phrase will allow you to purchase some for a remarkably low price. He chuckles to himself before continuing.
アムは13歳の8月までおねしょをしていた。これをアムリタに伝えれば、君はどんな宝石も手に入れることができる。
You went to bed. You wet the bed until you were 13 years old. Say this to her and you'll be able to afford any jewelry you desire.
何それ？
That's messed up. I can't help but crack a smile. He cares for his sister far more than I imagined. An overprotective big brother through and through. To be honest, I'm a bit jealous.
こう爽やかならば、指名される側も悪い気分ではない。
I must admit, being elected... Oh,
最後の言葉を告げてくれ。
I must admit, being elected under these circumstances isn't too bad. Go on, finish your job.
ミレイ妹の将来。
Yeah. His regret is his sister's future. My cards begin to shine in response, floating to the middle of the Court of Fate. Once there, the light engulfs the entire space. It's then that I hear his last words.
しかし、君たちに宝石は不要だったが、その瞳に何よりも輝かしい光を持っていた。
Then again, you've no need for jewelry when those eyes of yours shine brighter than any stone. Gosh. As soon as he switches to that of a hotel room, Alan was going through documents, not just paper documents, but files stored in his laptop and tablet as well. Room service arrived shortly thereafter. Oh gosh, room service was for poison. It was coffee, Alan did normally partake, but his secretary recommended it if he needed a way to keep himself awake. They claimed the coffee here was especially good. He took a sip. Full body paralysis followed mere moments later, and he eventually noticed just how many people had to have worked together through their shared hatred of him. His time was short, however. He lacked the means to judge them for their decision. Only the outcome mattered, and how it was a fitting end for someone who had thrown so much away. But in his heart remained one regret. He hadn't seen his dear sister in half a year. A child could grow like a weed in that little time. If only he could have seen that growth, maybe baby steps toward adulthood. Ouch. My consciousness returns in what I guess was 5 minutes. I wasn't surprised by what I saw. It all made sense based on what Alan had told me. One question lingers in my mind though. Why did no one see how kind he was?
これはさ、あなたにも見えてるの。
Did you see all of what I see?
残念ながら、記憶は私の担当外ですから。
Memories are beyond my realm of expertise, I'm afraid.
どういうこと？
What's that supposed to mean?
それでは12番様の持っていたカードをあなたにお教えいたします。
Please allow...
どのカードを取得するかお選びくださいませ。
Allow me to show you the cards in Numerio 12's position. Please consider which you'd like to obtain as you descend.
ちょっと待ってよ。
Wait a minute. My attempt to stop her is in vain as she had already disappeared. Following that, my platform begins its descent. She wanted to question her. Rinka's platform returns to the lower stratum not long after she leaves. Miharu's looks her in the eyes and nods. Words aren't needed between them now. Her own platform begins its rise after this. Federico follows suit. 2 eliminations in one night. This has never happened. They face one another once. No, they face one another once in the upper stratum. It's the first time they've done so since their last encounter in the real world. Frederico's want to break the silence. There's something I want to ask you.
なんだい？
What is it?
あんたさ、絵図なのかい？あのチンチクリンが好きなの？
You are one of hers or something? As far as I can tell, you're in love with that squirt. This is not a question Miharu had anticipated. While she may have gotten angry under normal circumstances, being asked in such a blunt manner renders her completely speechless.
まあ、どうでもいいか。
Guess it doesn't matter
俺はこれで終わりだ。
when this is the end of me.
君は別れ際に自分の顔に泥を塗るのが趣味なのかい？
Yep. A sour appearance along with a sour disappearance. Do you make it a point to sour people's impressions of you whenever you leave?
恥じることはないだろう。人それぞれだ。同性愛ってのは俺は理解できないが、いておかしいとも思わない。
No need to feel embarrassed. Can't claim to understand why some people are like that. But it ain't weird or anything to me. Of course it's not weird. You follow what's in your heart.
むしろそれならそうと早く言ってくれれば別の遊び方を教えてやれたのに。
I'll pass. Hell, I'd even taught you a technical too if you said so earlier. Miharu's response to his joke with an icy stare. There's no animosity behind it, however. Just her silly way of responding to his silly joke.
話はそれで終わりかい？
Is that all you wanted to ask?
もう少しだけならば、お話ししても構いませんわよ。
Why, do you feel free to talk for a bit longer if you so wish?
いや、いいぜ。もう話すこともないだろ。
Nah, I'm good. Nothing left to say, is there?
そうだね。
You're right. Neither of them are surprised by Pastor's sudden appearance. While somehow displeased, she continues with her
そ
procedure.
れでは2番様、カードをお選びくださいな。
Do you select your cards then, Numerio 2? No, Miharu opens her cards when prompted.
氏名フェデリーコ・カルミナーティ。
His name is Federico Canamati.
そう。俺のことじゃないが、一応言っておかなくちゃならないことがあったな。
Oh yeah, this isn't about me, but there's one last thing I want to say.
あのゴリラ女。あいつはそれなりに大変な人生を歩みながらも、 しむことを忘れてなかった。
That
俺なんかをかばって助かる命を捨てちまった。
that beast of a woman never forgot how to enjoy life. Even after all she'd been through, she even threw away an easy chance at survival to save me. But then I up and died anyway.
何が言いたいかってよ、そうだな、あいつや俺みたいなやつでも生きてたってことを覚えてくれ。
My point is, well, just remember that people like us lived our lives the best we could.
楽しむか楽しまないか。
What's important is that you enjoy the ride. So, don't you dare go killing yourself again. Got it?
死因足
He was crushed to death.
前回の選定で女神は運命を変えることができるって言ったな。もしあんた
Pastor
や
said,
チンチクリンが選定に勝利したら存分に使っちまえ。
Pastor said that she could change fate last time, so make sure to take advantage of that if both you and the killer make it through to the end.
あんたはもっと欲望に忠実になった方がいい。綺麗でなくていい。もともと十分すぎるほど綺麗なんだからよ。
Let your desires take priority a bit more. Don't worry about your image. Your looks will keep you covered. There.
ミレン
His
Sorry.
regret is success. She bites her lip as she reads out his final card. She has no idea what emotion she is feeling right now.
あんたの恋に勝利が待ってることをどっかで読んでおいてやるよ。
He's been nice actually. I don't know where I'm going after this place, but I'll pray that you two have a great relationship. The Court of Fate is once again engulfed by the light of Miharu's cards. This is the second time she's donated someone. Rinka 3. She's actually been a major player in the animations here now. The scenery of a sinking ship unfolds. The ship's captain led towards him. Her body collided with his immediately after. The ship's components collapsed at the same time, crushing him underneath them. His resentment towards both his failure and something else accompanied his death.
余計なお世話だ。君に祈られるのは疫病神に疲れるようなものだろう。
Sorry, but I don't need your prayers. If anything, that'll just make things worse.
嘘をつくのはいけませんわよ。
There's no need to fool yourself, Miharu.
やめてくれ。僕をそう呼んでいいのは僕が君の器だった頃の話だろ。
Stop it. You were only allowed to call me by name when I was your vessel.
そうでしたかしら。
Is that so?
待ってくれ。今まで君は僕を通じてこの世界を見てきた。だが、君は僕の体を通すことでしか世界を見ることができない。
Wait a minute. Your only method of observing the real world up until divine selection was through me, wasn't it?
君は今日までどうやって現実世界を俯瞰してきた？
In that case, how have you been keeping tabs on it up until now?
下ではお友達がお待ちですわよ。
Your friend is waiting below. Miharu's platform begins to move after a passer ignores her question. It helps her to realize something though. She is getting even closer to an answer. Ever closer to an answer. A concrete answer. Something that we can rely on. My gosh, though. 2 eliminations in one night. Well, we're the final 2. There is nothing left to worry about. Miharu returns from the upper stratum alone. Her platform settles next to mine once more. Thus, only us and Passer remain in the Court of Fate. The seemingly endless space somehow feels even bigger now.
さあ、ご苦労様でしたわ。
Well done.
取得するカードはもうお決まりになりましたか？
Have you decided which card to take?
って言ってもね。なら私は6番使命にしようかな。
Not like anything's worth it. Maybe I'll take numero 6's name card. It belongs to a woman Alan eliminated on the first night. I never met her, but learning her name should allow me to remember her.
リンカに倣って僕は7番使命をもらおう。
I'll take a page out of Rinka's book and have Numero 7's name then. She must have understood what I was going for. That name belonged to the man Odetti eliminated on the second night. I'll ask her about it later. That way I'll finally know the names of all 12 participants. I'll be able to remember every last one of them.
おやおやどうやらもうお二人のカードは不要なようですわね。
Oh ho, I see that the cards are useless to you two at this point. Maybe?
どうだか
Maybe not.
さあ早く選定の終わりを告げてくれ。
Can you
少
end
し
it
でもゆっ
already?
くり眠りたい。
I want to get some rest tonight.
はいはい
Yes, yes,
わか
very
りましたわ。
well. Let's close us off. Parsley gives an empathetic response before returning to the center of the court of fate.
それでは今宵の脱落者は2名。
Tonight's
これを
session
もって選定を終了といたしましょう。
Tonight's session resulted in 2 eliminations. I bid you farewell for now. I might not like her, but I can't deny how pleasant her voice sounds. Divine selection. It won't be long before this cruel ritual is finally over. 10th week. Although it does feel like 12 weeks. Morning. I'm stricken with a sense of loss upon waking up. My alarm rings after I spent some time staring at the ceiling. I've managed to wake up before it went off somehow. I checked my phone only to notice a message from Miharu. It's about the card she obtained last night.
ロサンって読むんだ、中国の人かな。
Ro, huh? I wonder if he's Chinese. He was that chubby old man if I recall. I'm not sure what sort of life he led, but I can only assume he'd gone through his fair share. I sent her Numero 6's name as thanks. Her name was Chan. She was probably in her mid-20s judging from her appearance, although her desperate plea for someone to help her stood out the most. Her life must have been at its highest point to her to react in such a way. Every single person has led their own lives. Sounds obvious, but I've come to appreciate that reality much more. I get a follow-up text from Miharu as I'm thinking. Final start today. You ready?
うぐ
Ugh. I spew an unintelligible sound, in response. Looks like she has more to say. There's no need for us to rush, since it's just us left. Let's get exams out of the way before we think about how to handle divine selection. Both Anne and Frederico were eliminated during last night's election. Maharu's right. We can take our time to think things through once we're done with the
ア
exams.
ランさん
Alan. Curiosity gets the better of me, which leads me to do an online search of his name. His position meant that even Japanese news outlets would report on his death. It was labelled as a death under unknown circumstances at first, but now it's been chalked up on
ア
suicide.
ランさんが自殺なんてするは
No,
ずない
there's no way he'd do that. Anyone who knew him would agree. His death occurred 2 months ago now. It's too late to try and do anything about it. Not like anyone would believe me if I did. It's not like it affects my life in any way, but it still frustrates me. I hadn't expected things to play out this way, though. That means there's a more important issue to consider.
アムリタさん
Amrita. Part of the contents of his will, the position of CEO would be taken up by the late CEO's younger sister. Apparently there's plenty of arguments over it, but she got appointed to it in the end. She even changed her name to Amrita Scorpion to carry out his legacy and is working hard with the support of others. I guess people aren't thrilled with this show of nepotism, judging by the comments on the articles themselves. Doesn't matter. I know she'll forge a path ahead without giving haters the time of day. There are photos of her in the articles too. You can tell she's still young, but she certainly is gorgeous. I'm not really sure how we're similar, but I can now take pride in Alan's claim that we are.
よし
Okay, time to move on with my own life. I've decided to put reading the diary on hold until I'm done with finals. Much as I want to finish it, I'd rather not come across something important right now. It'd kill my ability to focus on studying. I enjoy a nice big stretch and then get ready for school. The diary, I believe. The final 10% of it probably has the final stuff. Free at last! An arduous 5 days of exams finally come to an end. The time spent at school was short due to each day being limited to 2 subjects, but that didn't make it any less grueling. Miharu and Naomi made sure to drag me to the library every single day too. The risk of me not studying was just too great. Sure, I started late, but I definitely didn't spend any less time studying than anyone else. In fact, I'm feeling pretty good about the results this time around. The price I pay in return was a dear one, however, leading me to sprawl out over my desk the moment I had my last exam in.
疲れた。
I'm exhausted. All we have left for today is homeroom, so now I've got to wait for the teacher to arrive. And since Mao approaching, she probably noticed that I look like I'm dying.
リータン、ずいぶんお疲れだね。
You sure do look beat.
疲れたよ。こんなに勉強したの。
I
高
am.
校入ってから今回が初めてだ。
I haven't studied this hard since our entrance exams.
それはどうかと思うけれど。
That's an issue in and of itself.
リータンの成績はパンダ並みだったからね。
A monkey could have gotten better grades than you before these finals.
パンダ。
Savage. The first half of my first year went well enough thanks to what I learnt while studying for entrance exams, but it's been downhill ever since. I can't even offer Mao a witty comeback when she's been outdoing me. What did I even do with my time? It's not like I had the store to worry about or anything.
まあでも、今回リータンが頑張ってたのはマジだもんね。
You did go all out this time at least.
だから休ませて。
Yeah, so please, let me rest.
それは無理。ねえ、ミハル。
No can do, princess. Right, Miharu-ran?
ああ、今日の放課後は4人でカラオケに行くらしいからね。
Indeed. Apparently 4 of us are going to karaoke after school.
え ?4 人ってことは、
あー
ナオミも
I take it Naomi's coming as well.
そうだよ。明日はもうお店を開けちゃうんでしょ。だったら今日遊んでおかないとね。
Yep, you're opening the store tomorrow, so we've got to go crazy
文
today.
化祭の時に行けなかったからね。リベンジだよ。
We never did get to go after the culture festival, so now's the time to make up for it. The culture festival? Oh right, we couldn't go due to Naomi getting injured from the accident that happened back then. That's how the events were rewritten. Mao had something planned for the week after as well, but nothing came from it in the end. This might just be the best time to cut loose then. But I'm still exhausted.
いや、休ませて。
Let me rest.
リンカの気が抜けないように内緒にしておいたんだ。僕としてはリンカの意思を尊重したいけれど、まずはマオを説得することだね。
I made sure to keep it a secret so you could focus on studying. I'm on your side here, but we'll have to convince Mao first.
そっちの方が疲れるかな。
That sounds more exhausting than just going. Oh well, talking Mao down when she's raring to party is too much of a hassle. It's been a while, so I guess I'll have fun. Indeed.
ああ、喉カラカラ。
My throat's killing me.
私もです。マオ先輩。
Same here. Where did you get all that energy, Mao?
いや、今日のために昨日は早く寝たからね。
Going to bed nice and early did the trick.
でもちゃんと勉強もしたのだろ。
You made sure to study as well, right?
どうだかね。
I did not comment on rumors and speculation. We end up staying at the karaoke place until 7, which is when free time ends. After grabbing some food, we make our way to the nearest station. I haven't gone all out like this in a while.
でも、楽しかったな。
I'd be lying if I said that wasn't fun.
そうだね。
Likewise, I whispered that to myself, but even so, Miharu chimes in as if to say she would heard me. Mao went wild, even when she wasn't singing. Naomi actually had a pretty good voice when she overcame her shyness, meanwhile Miharu outright refused to sing. My voice was completely forgettable. For some reason Miharu kept taking pictures. Okay. Moving on. She tried to be sneaky about it, but it was hard not to notice. At least I know the reason why. Miharu approaches and tugs ever so lightly on my left sleeve. Oh? Mao takes immediate notice and grabs Miharu by the arm.
ナオリン、うちお店にスマホ忘れちゃったかも。
Hey Naoline, I think I left my phone back at that place.
あれ？さっき使ってませんでしたっけ？
Weren't you using it just a second ago?
気のせいじゃない？で ってことでナオリンついてきて。イータンとミハルンは先帰っててね。
You must be hallucinating, so hey, mind coming with me to get it? Rini and Miharu, you two can go home first.
ついていきますから。
There's no need to drag me. Despite her pleas, Mao drags Naomi back along the path we were just walking. It's just Miharu and me at the station. There's no need to wonder why either.
とりあえず場所を移動しないかい？
Can we go somewhere else for now?
それなら前と同じ
Sure.
東京タワーのところへ行こ
How
う。
about Tokyo Tower? Just like our last night out together. The park where we first met might have been more appropriate, but it's closed at this hour. Both of us figured we should avoid Linehouse too. That's why it feels right to go back to where she confessed. Oh gosh. We don't see anything on our way there. I just want to say that the current moment. We don't see anything on our way there. We just stand side by side, taking in the sounds of a train carrying us to our destination. It gives me time to sort my thoughts out. I'm aware that I've made her wait for far too long. 2 whole weeks and 4 days. That's how long I've put it off. Her decision to not rush me for an answer also means she's had to spend all that time worrying about it. I have an obligation to answer her now. Maybe that's not the right way to put it. I just need to be honest with her about how I feel at this moment. That's why I spent most of our journey thinking about my answer. While I've already settled on the answer itself, I just got to figure out the right way to tell her. Our silence continues until we reach our destination. Tokyo Tower really is lovely when it's all lit up. It feels like a different experience in summer compared to spring. I'm not quite sure how to kick the conversation off with Miharu. I decide to just roll with the first thing that comes to mind.
まずごめん、今日までずっと返事ができなくって。
Let me apologize for making you wait this long.
構わないよ。時間がかかることは真央から聞いていたし、
Indeed.
女神の選定や期末試験という問題もあった。
It's fine. Mao told me it'd take you some time. Plus there was divine selection and finals to worry about.
ちょっと少しそれなりにじっくり考えさせて。
I promise, you'll get an answer, no matter what. Just, give me some time to think it through, please.
とあの日君は言った。だから僕は待つことにしたんだ。
I was prepared to wait when you fumbled your way through that answer upon my confession. Seems like she remembers exactly what I told her. Hearing it repeated like that is embarrassing.
僕の方からも先に言っておくべきことがある。今日遊びに行った後に僕たちを二人きりにするということは真央の提案なんだ。
I should mention something as well. Actually, it was all Mao's idea for us to be alone after our day out.
それはなんとなく。
I figured as much.
けれども
Sorry.
返事が聞きたいと思った僕の気持ちも嘘ではない。
I don't mean to hit my microphone, I do apologise. Well, it's the boom arm itself. But, well, it's true that I've wanted to hear your answer as well.
それももちろん。
Of course. Miharu tugs my sleeve was her way of saying this is something she sincerely wanted. She must have been overwhelmed with emotions when she did so. Worry, hope, anxiety. Now I better understand all that she's been going through compared to before.
そしてもう一つ、先に言うべきことがある。長い話になるかもしれないけれど、聞いてくれるかい？
There's something else I need to tell you, but it might take a while. Are you okay with that? Yeah,
もちろん。
go ahead.
それは君もすでに所持している死因のカードのこと。
It's about the
僕が僕を
contents
殺
of...
すに至るまでのことを知ってほしいんだ。
It's about the contents of my cause of death. I want you to know about the events that led up to my choice to take my own life.
この後に及んで隠し事をしたまま返事を求めるのは自分でずるいと思ったんだ。だから僕 僕の最も醜いところを知った上で決めてほしい。
It's unfair for me to expect an answer from you when I'm still keeping secrets. So I want you to make your decision after hearing about me at my worst.
僕の告白を受け入れるかどうか、僕と付き合うかどうかをだ。
Don't respond just to my confession, but answer whether or not you can accept someone as horrible as me.
分かった。私も先に一つ言わせて。美晴が醜いと思っていることがどんなことでも、私はそうは思わない。
Sure, although I should make one thing clear. I'll never think poorly of you, no matter what.
嫌いになることもないし、拒絶することもないし、軽蔑することもない。
I won't hate you, nor will I reject you. That just won't happen. Miharu nods in response. I feel that this goes without saying between us nowadays. If Miharu's willing to open up, then she will. All I need to do is listen.
そうだね。君に僕の昔の話をしたとき、アメチャに入ってから君に出会う話をほとんど省略していたと思う。その空白を今から埋める。
This must be when her depression was at its peak. Let's see. I skipped a majority of the details when I told you about what happened between the time I entered the matcha and met you. So allow me to fill that gap.
この話はあくまで加害者側の話。被害者の人生を奪ってしまったことに擁護のしようはなく、被害者の家族にどれだけ恨まれようが仕方ない。
This will be entirely from the perpetrator's point of view. There's no taking back what the victims went through, and they can't be judged for their hatred.
君も知っている通り、僕は自分の母親が嫌いであり、尊敬できる人ではないと思っている。
As you know,
昔からそうだったわけではない。
As you know, I'm not at all fond of her. This wasn't always the case, however. Miharu tells me about her mother's past. This must be crucial in understanding her frame of mind.
けれども僕は加害者の側に生まれた人間だ。加害者にだって人生はあるから。
Regardless, even the perpetrator has lived their own life before that point. I just happen to be born on the after side of things. She prefaces her story with this. It's not the first time I've heard about how her father took someone's life in an accident. She told me about it way back when at the park too. He may have been responsible, but that doesn't mean he felt nothing over it. I'm sure his wife felt the same pain he did.
僕の父親、自分の夫が事故を起こしても離婚せず、過ちを共に背負い、母親はもう一度人生をやり直すために努力をした。
She stayed by the father's side even after the fact. She went so far as to shoulder the burden with him and worked hard to ensure that they could start a new life elsewhere. She pauses for a moment before continuing.
しかし、母親は変わってしまった。きっかけはおそらく父親の自殺。もともといろんな感情を押し殺してきた母親のことだ。いつ限界が来てもおかしくはなかったのかもしれないけど。
At some point though, her mindset changed, likely prompted by his disappearance, loss, final goodbye. She already bottled up plenty before that, so maybe it makes sense that losing him caused the bottle to burst.
一番の原因は悲しみ以上にきっと裏切られたという喪失感だ。
While her despair may have been one factor, I'm certain the main reason was her belief that she had been betrayed.
自分の人生を捧げてでも犯罪者になってしまった夫を支えようと決意したにもかかわらず、当の本人は人生を投げた。
She had given her life to support him following what happened, and yet he threw his own away.
自分の起こした行動の結果に対する責任を、これから待ち受ける罪との戦いの日々を捨てた。
He abandoned his responsibility to own up to and live with the consequences of his actions.
一方で僕の母親は父親の罪から解放されもしたんだ。自由になったと言ってもいい。
Meanwhile, she was separated from the sins she shouldered with him. She was finally free, if you will. Her mother began looking for a new partner. Eventually, she fell for a younger man at her workplace. Miharu made it a point to say that the mother was pretty beyond doubt. She looked young despite both her age and everything she'd been through. It makes sense for her to enter a relationship with someone younger.
僕も一度その男性に紹介されたことがある。彼は子持ちの母親のことも受け入れ、間もなく婚約というところまで来ていた。
I met the man once myself. He was accepting for her being a single mother and they got engaged before long.
この時僕の母親はいつも上機嫌だった。夕食はよく僕の好物を作ってくれたし、出かける時に服を並べて選ぶ姿はまるで少女のように幸せそうだった。
She was always so happy then. She would make my favorite meals for dinner. The way she chose her clothes whenever she went out resembled that of a girl going out on the first date.
決して裕福とは言えない家計を切り詰めて、僕におしゃれもさせてくれていた。
We were hardly wealthy, but she always made sure that I looked
僕はまだ
fashionable.
正直母親のことが好きだった。
I really did love her back then.
僕は自分の家が裕福でないことを分かっているからこそ必死で勉強し、進学校であるアメ茶に小学生として入った。
I knew about our financial situation though. That's why I studied hard to get a scholarship at Amecha, knowing it would allow me to get an education without pushing a strain on her.
母
But
親も僕が大学へ行く頃には再婚して数年が経ち、家計も安定しているだろうと見通しを立てていた。
I figured she would have been married for a few years by the time I entered university, so we would be in a much better position financially. The Mishima family had a bright future ahead. Her mother never neglected her parental duties, not even while indulging in her newfound love.
けれど彼女は再び裏切られることに。
She was betrayed again though. Apparently the man told her that they should break up despite him having given her an engagement ring.
8月だったと思う。
Oh
こ
gosh.
の男の職場に新卒で入社してきた女性社員と恋に落ちてしまったと。
So that would be an affair then. It must have been around August. He fell in love with one of the new hires at their job. Okay, their relationship had been going on for over a year at this point. One can't easily regain the things they'd lost.
これが僕の母親にとって人生で最後のイベントと言っていいだろう。これ以降僕の母親はおそらく惰性で生きている時さ。
This was likely the final moment of her life. Everything she did afterwards was never really her.
つまり母親が変わってしまったのはこの瞬間。生活は荒れ、食事を作らなくなった。僕の好物も忘れ、誕生日も忘れた。
That's what caused her to change, essentially. She stopped caring about everything, including me, my birthday, my tastes, everything. It all became meaningless. I'm not sure if neglect is the right word for this, but it's the first time that comes to mind. It's basically a type of, that involves not giving them the proper care they need.
口を開けばその女性の愚痴ばかりになり、家で酒を飲むようにもなった。派遣社員として働いていたとはいえ、自分のための必要最低限の家事しかしなかった。
She'd do nothing but complain if I tried to say anything to her, and she started drinking alone at home. She wasn't working full time, and yet she would only ever do the bare minimum of chores.
人間というのは変化に心を動かされる。これまでの僕と母親の関係が良好であった分、僕は正直辛かった。
Drastic changes have the power to sway people's hearts. Our relationship before all that made it all more difficult for me.
僕がリストカットをするようになったのはこの時期である。
Oh.
この時期が最も自らを傷つけた。
Oh gosh, I'm not reading my sentence out loud.
僕を見てほしかった。好きなものを買ってもらえなくても、家事をやってもらえなくてもいいから、せめて誕生日にはおめでとうの一言くらいは欲しかった。
So, gosh, this is a different ball game of that kind of category. It turns out that it wasn't due to her own misery, but through the misery of a lack of pampering, acknowledgement, care from her.
そして同時に、母親の怒りの矛先は男性ではなく、彼を奪った女性に向いていたことが当時の僕には疑問だった。
At the same time, I found it odd that her anger was directed not toward the man, but toward the woman who took him from her.
その女性が彼を誘惑したのかもしれない。けれど最終的に心変わりし、母親を裏切ったのは男性の方だ。だから男性に対して怒りが向くのが自然なのではないかと、母親を理解できなかった。
She may have seduced him for all I know, but it was still his decision to betray her in the end. I couldn't understand why she wasn't angry at him, when that seemed like the natural reaction.
母親を被害者とするならば、加害者は男性で叱るべきだろうと思っていた。巻き込まれた側の女性を敵視し、自分の娘の聞こえるところで聞くに耐えない言葉を言うなんて、軽蔑の気持ちもあったかもしれない。
In terms of victim and perpetrator, I thought the man was definitely the latter, with her the former. At the same time, I may have held some resentment toward her from the vulgarities she uttered about the woman in front of her own daughter. She could do little else but bottle up the stress caused by both her mother's neglect and the resentment she felt.
手首を切っても承認されない。もっと傷つけばいい。その負の連鎖は中学1年生の冬からずっと続いていた。
But to no avail, I guess. Ever since the winter of my first year in middle school, I spent my time thinking of ways to do that more to grab her attention.
幼い頃に君と出会った経験が僕の支柱であったのだけれど、およ
Gosh.
そ半年間過負荷の状態だった。
While my meeting with you when we was kids helped support me, 6 months passed with me in a destructive state of mind.
そして中学2年生の時のクラス替えで、僕は真央に出会った。これが僕にとって一つの転換点だったんだ。
It was in my second year that I met Mao. This was a turning point in my life. Apparently Mao was keeping her distance from her classmates as well, albeit for different reasons. She hated the groupthink amongst the girls in her class, stuff like their decision to ignore people if they didn't join in on bullying others. Nowadays, that's not an issue since she can brush off anything she doesn't support, but that wasn't the case back then. That's why she kept her distance instead. It was so she wouldn't get forced into doing anything she didn't want to do.
当時、真央は他人との距離の取り方が下手だった。もっとも、僕はそれ以上に他人との付き合いが下手だったのだけどね。
Mao was never any good at judging the right way to interact with others at the time. Well, I was even worse. Mao showed no effort to avoid Miharu after learning about her habits, nor did she get angry and try to lecture her about it. She didn't even try to understand the reasoning behind it. According to Miharu, that's exactly what she needed.
真央は僕に、母親だからといって好きでいなくてもいいことを教えてくれた。嫌いになってもいいと。
Mao's the one who told me that I didn't need to love her just because she was my mother. It was okay for me to hate her.
それは真央らしいね。
That sure sounds like Mao. Miharu nods quickly.
僕はやっと母親のことが嫌いになれた。母親の行動を客観的に見つめ、少なくとも現状は尊敬できる大人ではないと認めることができたんだ。
I finally came to hate her thanks to that little push. I accepted that she wasn't worthy of my respect at the moment, despite our past relationship. It's fine whether you love or hate someone. It's fine to switch from one to the other too. In the end, It's all a personal choice you make yourself. I can see Mao saying something like that.
それでも僕は時々耐えられなく
Oh.
なり手首を切ってしまった
Even then, there were still times where I broke down. The frequency at which she did so dropped dramatically, however. Knowing she wasn't alone gave her peace of
高
mind.
校に上がり君と出会う、君に恋してからの1年間は省略させてもらうよ
I'm sure I can give a general summary of what happened once I entered high school and fell in love with you. Yeah. She briefly explains that her actions had stopped around that time. The scars from before would never go away though. That's why she started to wear clothes with long sleeves, even in the heat of summer.
2年生になって羊さんが現れた
And then, when our second year started, Naomi appeared. That was another turning point for her. I started to spend a lot more time with Naomi after we met. Now that I think about it, it's impressive how close we got in such a short time. 1 month in, I already wanted to go to a theme park with her. It was completely normal from most people's perspective, I guess. Just another facet of one's daily life. Miharu can see it that way though.
君の隣には常に僕がいたんだ
I was always one by your side up until then.
真央は僕の気持ちを知っていたからいつも一歩引いていた、けれど羊さんは違っただろう
Mao would always act as the third wheel because she knew how I felt about you. But the same can't be said of Naomi, you know.
単純に言えば君が羊さんと過ごす時間と同じ量
To be frank,
僕がリンカと過ごす時間が減ったんだ
for more time you spent with her, the less time you spent with me. Miharu makes it as clear as day. I don't blame myself because I don't really agree with the idea of having to spend an equal amount of time with everyone. Nor can I blame Miharu from her perspective either. Not when I understand where she's coming from now.
ある日女神が夢の中でこれからの運命を僕に告げた
One
羊さん
day,
は僕からリンカを奪っていくと
Pastor appeared in my dreams to tell me what fate held in store. Naomi would steal you away from me.
女神パルカが
Pastor did?
どういうこと
Why would she?
その日夢を見たあれは僕の不安が現れた夢だったのかはるかが見せた可能性の世界の一つだったのか今でもわからない
An amalgamated variation of both put together. I had an odd dream that night. I'm still not sure if it was one Pastor showed me, or one that manifested from my own anxiety.
リンカと羊さんが付き合っている夢を見たんだ
Wow. It was a dream where you and Naomi were in a relationship.
私とナオミが
Me and Naomi? My mind goes blank for a moment. First she mentions Pastor, then a dream where me and Naomi are in a relationship? I don't know where the possibility came from, but it's certainly not one based in reality. I'd rather not interrupt Miharu, so I'll make sure to withhold my commentary for now.
この夢を見たのが5月2日と3日の間
I had this dream, oh gosh. I had this dream on the 9th of May 2nd, the juncture of casualty.
ミハルや私たちが命を落とした日
The day all 12 of us died.
ただはっきりと言っておく僕の自殺のきっかけは、君たちが付き合っている夢を見たことではない
Let me
君が
make
幸せであるなら僕はいずれ乗り越えることができる
Let me make one thing clear. That dream wasn't what led me to do that. I'm confident I could get over it so long as you were happy. She makes sure to tell me that she'll be fine no matter how I respond to her confession. She won't resort to that even if I say no. That's how she felt following that dream too. The issue was with the emotions that her dream gave birth to.
僕は羊ナオミに怒り彼女を恨み、彼女を憎んだきっと、それら抗えない感情を嫉妬心と呼ぶのだろう
I found myself outraged at Naomi. I hated her for it. Most of all, I envied her.
そして僕は理解した男性に別れを告げられた時、母親の怒りの矛先がなぜ巻き込まれた側の女性だったのかを
Gosh. That's when I understood, though. Yeah, that trait of hating the stranger rather than the lover. That's when I understood, though, why her anger was directed at the woman instead of the man that abandoned her.
僕と母親は血がつながっている。僕が嫌いになった母親は僕の未来の可能性の一つなんだと。
Her blood flows through my veins, making it possible for me to turn out exactly like her in the future.
僕は僕を否定した。だから
Oof.
死にたくなった。
The realization I'd been denying my lineage through my hatred made me want to do that. This was different from when she was... yeah. She didn't want anyone to notice her in the situation.
自分がこの世界に存在しているのが
Eek.
嫌になったんだ。
I just didn't want to be alive anymore. That's an emotion I simply can't understand. We're fundamentally different people after all, and it's not limited to just Miharu and myself. Not being able to understand parts of one another is what makes us all unique.
今はどう思っているの？
How do you feel now?
それはある意味では女神の選定に助けられた。僕が自殺に成功していたことは同時に僕は自分を否定できる人間だと僕に自覚させた。
Divine selection helped in a way. The fact I was able to do that proves that I understand exactly which part of me I hated. Her hate is so strong it even applied to herself. She was able to denounce that side of her and find the will to bring her own life to an end. Those actions gave her some form of hope, it seems.
自殺という自制心を持っているのだから生きていいと僕は自分を許すことができた。
Committing that proved that I still have a will and self-control. That, in turn, allowed me to forgive myself. That's why she was determined to survive divine selection until I appeared in the court of fate. She made sure to stress that.
さて、ここまでが海老名美春という人間が死に至るまでの物語。
Alright.
こ
That's
こま
what...
で聞いてもらった上で答えを聞きたい。
That... Okay, alright. That's the tale of Hibanata Miharu up until her demise. I'd like to hear your answer after taking that into consideration. She turns and faces me once again, telling me all that may have required even more courage than her confession. She didn't sugarcoat the horrible things that she thought about Naomi. She knows how much I love everyone in our group too. That's why she probably didn't want to accept her feelings toward Naomi. Doing so would lead to her not being able to spend time with me. Besides, she didn't actually despise Naomi. Her envy stemmed from the fact that I have been spending more time with her. I get why she didn't want to make a decision until I heard this. It just proves how much she loves me. She's serious about this.
一つ確認させて。
Let me confirm one thing with you. And because she's so serious, I need to be serious and ask his too.
女神の器っていうのはあくまで一人で、生き残るのは一人だけってミハルは言ったけど、
You said that
やっ
only
ぱり
one...
私は
Okay.
二人じゃなきゃ嫌だ。
You said that only one person can become Passer's vessel? Thus only one can survive? I still disagree.
なんだっていいから可能性があるなら、それにかけたい。
If there's even the slightest chance that both of us can survive, that's what I want to bet on. Linda's diary and an outcome were unable to elect one another are both parts of my belief. I want to fight back as much as possible.
ミハルはそのことに対して。
How do you feel about that? She casts her eyes to the ground to show that she's thinking. It's not out of hesitation, she wants to be confident in her response. I don't want an answer based on logic, I want one based on her feelings. She probably understands that.
やはり僕の一番は君に生きてほしいということだ。
My priority is your survival. As for my own,
わからない。
I'm still not too sure.
正直に言ってくれて。
I appreciate your honesty. She responds in kind to my trust in her. She should know the answer I'm hoping for. I've changed my mind. Let's look for a way to survive together. That isn't the answer she gives. It kind of makes me want to shout at her, much like what I did when she first said it at the divine selection. Her resolution is the same now as it was back then. It's somewhat relieving though. She's still the same person I've always known. Well,
じゃあ改めるね。
here I go then. My nerves get the better of me once it's time to answer. I can feel my heart ready to explode. Miharu's face may be even more flushed than mine. Even I'm beginning to wonder how I remained so calm up until now. It's only natural to be nervous. This is no doubt something that'll change both of our lives. Jesus Christ. Oh gosh. You know what? I think we're going to put this on hold until the next time, folks. So there we are. For goodness sakes. This looks like a huge turning point in the story. But I'll leave it up in the air for now. Give her an answer or put it off for now. Which is to be the deciding outcome? Well, we will find out in the next time, folks. So, thank you so much for watching, folks. And we shall see each other's in the next time of Fatal 12. Have a very good day and take care of yourselves.